And welcome everybody to Game Arena Valorant Act 3. And they say the third time is the charm, and I feel like that's going to be the case for this tournament with Game Arena Valorant. Today, we have pool play for 6 different teams trying to vie for the top 2 spots. And you can see them right here. We got Marion Tech leaders, Sussy players, a reigning champion from Act 2, Akron Gold, maybe not the same team as the Akron who won Act 1, but still a very dominant force. OSU Scarlet, second place, last act. And then CSU Vikings Green and White, 2 teams that I've been doing a bit of research on, and they look extraordinarily scary. One of the teams having 2 Radiants, 2 highest peaks on their roster. So, I'm just excited to get into this gameplay because I believe for the first match, don't want to leak anything too soon, we're going to have a rematch of the Act 2 Grand Finals. It's going to be the Sussy players versus OSU Scarlet, and we're going to be starting off on a map, me personally, I haven't seen either of them play, but a map that I love to watch pro teams play, amateur teams play. I love to play myself. Abyss. Probably the coolest map that Valorant has released, especially with the feature where you can just fall off the map, eliminate yourself that way. We've seen teams utilize that as a strategy, especially on rounds to deny alt orbs, deny economy to the other teams. So we'll have to see what that selection means, and I guess we'll have to see when it goes in. I do want to talk a bit about these rosters because there have been a couple change-ups if you were watching in Act 2. A few things switched around. Sussy players still have Vaspiro, they still have Shamson, and they still have Noodle, but they are going to be picking up Kobe and Donkey, or maybe they just changed names. I'm not sure. They'll let me know at some point in time. And then we have Grifty and Dez for OSU Scarlet, but I believe that Hamburger, Waldy, and Niata are all 3 newer players. So it's going to be a rematch, and it's going to be a contestation one. When these teams met in Act 2 winners semifinal, it went basically the distance on, again, another new map of Sunset. So I'm really interested to see how these 2 teams feel each other out throughout this game. Abyss is a map you can play really, really slow, really, really controlled, vie for that mid presence. We get to see the 2 teams. Here's OSU Scarlet in the Game Arena venue, and we'll get to see Sussy players, a team who every time we flash to them last act, they were giving so much hype, so much good vibes and good energy. We'll see if they're able to continue on that winning trend, or if there's going to be some crazy upsets. And let's hop right into gameplay with the Sussy players going to be the ones starting out on the attack side. And I sort of talked about the slow approach that you want to take if you're playing on a map like Abyss, a map that's 1, really big, 2, it has 2 sites, so you don't really benefit as much for those fast hits, but you can definitely do them to some extent. And 3, a map where you have 2 different lanes of mid. Both those lanes can be watched from mid-top area or from B-Link, A-Link area. You have a lot of options if you get control of mid because it completely denies the defender side, OSU Scarlet side rotations that they want to make. But it looks like Dez is doing a really early lurk out here. And it's not monitored. Oh no, it is monitored. Shamson withdraws first blood. Sussy players up 2 kills early on, and that's exactly what they wanted to do to start the tempo, punish the early aggression from OSU Scarlet, and hopefully try to send them packing. And Grifty now looking to do a bit of scouting here. Try and figure out where the push is. Luckily, they still have the Cypher utility still up, so they're going to identify it's a B hit on site, but Sussy players are going to get complete control of this B site with Grifty not able to do anything, and actually gets a lot of chip damage. That could turn this into a winnable situation for OSU Scarlet. A 3v4 retake and a nice Sova dart to sort of start this retake off, clearing out all of sight. I'm starting to question the decision for the Sussy players to give up all of sight. They lose a lot of control, but look at this backstab from Vespuro. Nobody sees it coming, and he is going to catch one for his trouble, and now he has a chance to punish. Second, third come in, and Sussy players, you can see the energy, picking it up that first round. And that's the sort of energy that I want these teams to keep playing with. I want these teams to keep building on. It's the sort of energy that led Sussy players to win. And I'm even hearing from some of the observers here, they're already yelling into the camera. And that's how they want to play, you know? They want to be in your face, they want to be loud, they want to be flashy. Only team here that is not representing a university, so they might as well just represent themselves and play hard. And it looks like they're giving their first attempt at this A hit and getting a lot of chip damage, but little do they know, and they might be beginning to figure out A is the site that's held the most. If I was a Sussy players, I would kind of want to back off of this. They do manage to catch Dez. That's a big fragger, completely denied for OSU, and they're going to keep pushing into this. They're trying to clean up kills on the site. Grifty does get one, and every single kill that OSU Scarlet is able to pick up here, any bit of damage is going to be monumental for that third round. But it seems like, at least at the moment, Hamburger just looking for one more for his troubles. And 3 guns on the side of Sussy players bringing into the next round is all right. They could want more, and I know for a fact OSU Scarlet wants to deny some more, and that's exactly what Hamburger is going to do. Maybe opening it up to a winnable situation, but the post plant definitely there. The double swing comes through, and Hamburger falls. 2-0 lead, as sort of expected for the monetarily advantageous round of Sussy players. We'll have to see if they're able to convert this bonus, though. And you can already see the difference in guns. You have Vandals and Phantoms completely for the side of OSU Scarlet, but it's kind of shambles. Like, going into the third round, even if you won 2 and all you have is a pistol and light shields, that's... I mean, they do upgrade to a sheriff, okay. That's a bit better, can pack a bit more of a punch, as we saw from Hamburger. But the Sussy players, again, looking for this really default hold. They have a 2-2-1 setup going, and I'll say that a lot. What that indicates is they have 2 players towards one site, 1 player towards mid, and then 2 players towards the other site, showing no true intention of where they want to go just yet, but they are trying to feel out the map, see what's held the most, and maybe put in some misinformation. They actually managed to pull over 3 players from the OSU Scarlet side to defend B, and now Sussy players grouping up on A. The rotation is going to come in, and this is going to be a hard execute on A. An Astro Wall to set this up perfectly as well, too. And that's exactly what you want to do. Donkey now opting up to the high ground, realizing that they sold the fake just fine. Nobody's home. They have the plant down, and now they're just able to play this beautiful post plant from either A site or back through A. But Dez will strike first. And now there is some trouble. Valorant update did remove ping, so it might be kind of hard to exactly identify where that spike is. They're trying to spam in, but Hamburger already stuck to half, and he's going to stick right through full on 10 HP, mind you. That round almost too close for comfort for OSU Scarlet, but they do manage to convert their full buy. And we're eventually going to see round 4. Tides are evening up here. Both teams opting for... I thought they were opting for Vandals, but the damage to OSU Scarlet is going to be a significant amount. They're not able to pick up all Vandals, and, you know, Dapper gets the Sheriff in hand, but doesn't even have the Blade Storm to operate with, so very difficult position to play in, and just a wall bang shuts down Hamburger. So person who got the clutch defuse in last round off the cards, off the table, and it's a quick hit from the Sussy players, showing that if they take A side, they're taking A side fast, and they're taking it with coordinated util. Donkey going in so deep this time. And OSU Scarlet may be expecting nobody to be here. Oh, but the clone, enough to fake it out, enough to identify that position, and Dez with a great swing, 3 on the cards, ult opened up, identifying where the other players are, 2v2 situation, but pops out into the open in too dangerous of a spot, bites off more than he can chew, and unfortunately is gonna fall, bumping the Sussy players up 2-3, and I haven't seen the numbers yet, but from what I can tell, sending OSU Scarlet's economy basically into complete shambles here. You could have one player, technically 2, get a full buy, but at that point you're just better off saving. You're better off with the classics in hand. Looks like Dez was considering it for a second, considering going the Vandal route. Dez is one who's known to play those sort of top fragger roles. I remember in Act 2 playing a lot of Reyna, which from a super competitive standpoint isn't the, I guess, most viable pick, but if you are just hitting shots, you can 100% make that character work. And it looks like another approach from the Sussy players where they're looking to not forego the complete A side. They're looking to take control. They realize that for the side of OSU Scarlet, they only have pistols, light guns to even try to attempt this retake. So they want to deny as much space as possible. But Hamburger still comes up with 2 though. The damage still there. And Knight, nice position, completely identified, completely exposed, and eventually he's going to be shut down. Nice lurk from Vesperil again. Look for the Cypher player to do that a lot on Abyss, able to kind of create this net of control and then lurk off of it, off of the cam position, off of where you can take through mid.
Yes, this should do.
And we are seeing at this stage of the game a couple key ultimates online and a few more in the cards. I mean, the ones you can see for Hamburger, Grifty, and Vesperil, but also Donkey very close to the Brainstorm as well. Knight also very close to his ultimate too. And Dapper Waldy actually on a very nice off angle. See if he gets flushed through here. Gonna get identified by this Skydog. And immediately Hamburger with a very nice response there. I'm gonna have to see who this Hamburger guy is, check the VODs a bit, because I don't remember him from Act 2, but he is definitely putting in work here. Now an attacker-sided ultimate, the combination of the Neural Theft and the Hunter's Fury, the perfect way to zap players down. Knight is just forced back, forced off the site, and it's just the damage has already been done. Dez the only one on OSU Scarlet with full HP remaining. And Knight chopped down. It's just what can Dez look for in this situation? This was the round they had a chance to win, and their hopes getting dashed. Very, very reminiscent of the first map of Act 2 Grand Finals, which was, if you're not there, the scoreline at one point in time might have been 12-0. The scoreline at that point in time may have also had Noodle with a 9.5 KD. So they're just trying to do whatever they can to avoid that at this point, you know? They're trying to, take a step back, put a halt on what they're doing, and maybe consider some new options, some new plans. You can even see them just talking strategy with each other, seeing exactly what they want to do for these next round, because I feel like they're having these good moments of greatness. I would actually love to see them get a bit more, I guess, proactive on the defense, take a bit of the space, and then sort of put fear in Sussy players' hearts or minds or whatever you want to call it that they're going to be able to deny. And Sussy players obviously using this timeout as well. You know, timeouts benefit both teams. When you call that, you give the opportunity to sort of adapt these counter strats. So I have to see how this fleshes out in round 7.
This goes here.
In this round for OSU Scarlet, it seems to be a very scripted hero buy and a very scripted push. That's exactly what I wanted them to do. They've shown this on the first round, and Sussy players are none the wiser. Kobe already caught off guard, and that's a gun. That's exactly what OSU wants. They're actually going to invest the neural theft into this just to identify the locations, and they realize no space. The Sussy players haven't taken any space on the map. They have nowhere to go. They're all funneled into the A site and into Dez's waiting arms. 1 kill, a TP out. You maybe don't need guns to win these. If you have sheriffs, you can hit that one shot and you have these strategies to follow. That's all you need. Very nasty, very punishing Cypher, Cam. But Dez not able to get the punish. Now a 2v4 situation for the attackers, for the Sussy players. They're just biding their time. They're waiting. And I don't even know if that's the right call here. They're hoping for a misstep. They're hoping for some sort of mistake. And they're trying to get the plant in the safest position possible, but they've given the time for the rotations. And now, with shock darts coming in, util dumped onto site. An excellently used timeout and an excellently scripted round for OSU Scarlet right there. That's exactly what you want to do on the back of your timeout. And as you can see, Thrifty converted. And now Sussy players, they have to worry about mid. They forego mid. They don't use a sort of flash to take that space. They don't use a smoke to deny the early push out. They don't use a camera to watch that area. Now they have to start thinking. They have to start worrying. Is the push going to come through mid? Again, you can already see 3 OSU Scarlet players adapting to that, but it looks like the response from Sussy players is going to be different. A 5 stack towards the B site happens to be the stronger site for OSU Scarlet. Let's have to see if Dez's position gets flushed or not. It looks like it's going to be. And this is fast. This is aggressive. Can Dez get out? Yes. 1 kill and back. Knight responds as well, taking down Noodle. And this is kind of a slaughtering right now. The 5-person hit. Just a silver drone and all 5 following in. Does not seem to pan out for the Sussy players at all. And I think it's safe to say that momentum has shifted. There's still a lead for the Sussy players, but look at the economy for their side. They're forced onto a save, onto a less than favorable position. Donkey is going to activate the Blade Storm this round, but there's a Blade Storm for Waldy to sort of more solidify the economy for OSU Scarlet. And they have not only the Astro Wall on the cards, but multiple other ultimates very, very close. They've set themselves up with generational wealth, and they're going to just add to it. The most impactful weapon in Sussy players' hands, taken away from them. That Blade Storm denied.
Camera taken out.
Grifty's cam does get spotted onto. It's a slower approach to A. And it's the nice sneak up here. And Grifty dodges the flash, catches 1, 2, looking for more, getting time, finds the 3rd, and a trade is there. Grifty single-handedly holds the line and takes down the Sussy players yet again. And if this next round doesn't go in the Sussy players' favor, it's all tied up. The game has been equalized, and I gotta start asking, when is the Sussy players' timeout gonna come through? Like, when are they going to try and cook up a response? Because from what I've seen on this map, OSU Scarlet I think they definitely wanted to go here. They have proven that they can sort of hand it blow for blow to Sussy players on some of the newer maps from Act 2. So we'll see if they're able to keep that space. Oh, and look at Waldy's position. Usually when Sussy players go up...
Be faster.
Oh, completely denied by Donkey. But usually when Sussy players push up, they're pushing up with like 1-2 players. Not 1 or 2 players, like lots of numbers of players. Greater number of players. But setting Waldy up into that position did do a great job in just setting up that triple hold on mid. And the scary thing about it is, too, like, Sussy players they just keep reading these wrong. They have 2 players still on the B site. And Knight's gonna find the kill. Or 2 players still on the A site, and Knight's gonna find the kill on B as well. So now, it is just Noodle and company for Sussy players trying to make their way up mid, but that's still held by Hamburger, and he's been so good from these situations. No, shut down by Shamson. That dynamic duo, Noodle and Shamson, seeing if they can break through. They're actually going to invest in the Sky ult as well to break themselves onto site, but that's only a temporary solution. And with time ticking down, the double swing there, Grifty quickly able to respond, and ladies and gentlemen, we have a tied up series 5-5. And a game definitely on our hands. And you have Sussy players who have been forced onto a save. I need to see them try something cheeky. I don't know if cheeky on this round should be pushing up mid. They're completely outgunned. Dapper Waldy has an ult, or has an ult and an op on their hands. And every single player on the OSU Scarlet squad has an option as well. And that's why you don't push up mid. You're just completely outgunned. You can't spam down the enemy team if you just have sheriffs and a Spectre at long range. You need to do more than that. Now it looks like they're trying to make the read over onto the A site, but again, this is the more stacked site for OSU Scarlet. They have the defenses there. Dez doesn't even have the timing, but he has the kills, he has the headshots. Another flawless round for OSU Scarlet. They're starting to pick up momentum. And the economy now back for Sussy players. But the issue is, like, it's just an ult deficit now because the Sussy players have sort of saved so many rounds because there was no real contestation. The defense didn't have to invest in any ultimates. So now, for this last round, they have 5 ultimates to use. We're going to see an ult dump, and it's just going to be whoever utilizes their ultimate better. Like, you're just able to use Sova ults like that for information, you know? Like, in the last round, that is the expectation. You want to get all your ultimates out, you want to get that maximum value. Yeah, just pop it. Why not? Bladestorm comes in for Waldy as well. And I like this hit towards A. The Sussy players are lining up right now. I think it's exactly what they want to do, but unfortunately 2 get spotted, and now the ruse might be up. And it looks like the spike for Sussy players is heading towards B. Like, what they need to do here is they've guessed the weaker site. They need to put pressure towards A, and that's the exact thing they need to do. The Astra Wall, straight through A. It's buying the fake. It's pulling 4 people over. All that's left is Cypher utility on the site. And OSU Scarlet's so sold. They're so sold that this is where it's going to be. They pulled all 5 players over, and it's a free site for the Sussy players, but definitely not a free game. 5v5 for the retake, and you still have so many powerful ults. Going in with the Dimensional Drift into Astral Wall on the other side. Still Bladestorm to account for. And Donkey has to be very cautious. They've spotted 3 towards the backside, and Dapper Waldy able to just engage into this situation. Sussy players have a neural theft of their own. Trades coming in, but it's in favor of Sussy players here. Astro Wall to play with, and it looks like the Sussy players are going to tie it up. And that's exactly what you need at the end of this half. A 6-6 scoreline and momentum going in your favor. Because if it didn't happen, if that map did, or if that side round did not go in their favor, it would have been, I think, 5 in a row for OSU Scarlet, and that is not a good way to start your second half. Especially on something like Abyss. It's such a big map, and it's a map that you can play, in my opinion, a little bit better on the attacker side, because you're able to sort of fake a lot of rotates. You're able to force the defenders to make this really long rotation, and you can just send 5 towards one side, send 5 towards mid, send 5 towards another side. So we'll have to see exactly what that adaptation is.
This goes here.
But it looks like Sussy players are lining up for this 3-person push up mid. We'll see if OSU can counter sort of the strategy that they pioneered. Right now, very default. But it's sort of the same on attack or defense. Even though Vespero does pick up this early, or Vespero is going to pick up this early pick, and now you have 2 players sitting right at Hamburger's doorstep. Do they read this? And I think he had the right read, to be fair. I think it was there. But at the same time, now you have to deal with Donkey in this very awkward position. Grifty able to get the trade, and Grifty actually able to equalize it right now. And those are the 2 lurkers who pushed up mid early round. So a 3v3 situation, numbers are sparing. And Sussy players trying to set up a stronger defense towards the A side and trying to push more aggressively. Vespero lines up the shot, but an unfortunate near miss. And a double swing is going to come out. Knight's just going to hit that first shot through the dome and claim his victim, giving a slight advantage towards OSU Scarlet. And Sussy players really no response for this. They can't probe for information. They realize it's best for them to group up and take a gamble. Unfortunately, it's going to be the wrong gamble. And this round looks all but favored for OSU Scarlet. The information is going to come in for the Sussy players, but it's going to be too little too late. The setup's already there. You have a camera on the spike as well. You have Gravwells to deny for Knight. I think the real issue is you have no breaching util right now. If you smoke off the spike, I mean, sure, they're just going to spam you out. It's such a punishing position. You have that Cypher Cam there, too, to check. I think? I hope. Yes. And now Kobe. Look at that Cypher Cam. Oh my god, that is straight punishment right there. They are not able to shut it down. And OSU Scarlet, for the first time, this map can say they have a lead. And it's definitely looking like a strong one. And I will say, it's just, I mean, at least in terms of numbers, Dez and Hamburger feeling so strong, feeling extraordinarily confident with their ability. And it's just such a tough situation here for the Sussy players. They're trying for the gamble stack here. They're trying to take a fight down, but it's just respected. It's anticipated. And even though they gained all this space A, they're able to go up the flank. They're going to run straight into Cypher utility. The cam's going to check them as well, too. And they realize 4 players are on our flank. Okay. That's a immensely powerful spot, because now they're just able to flood into the defender slide, flip the map. Vespero does get 1 for their trouble, equalizing up the fight. And the push does come in through mid. They're going to realize when there's 1, more are coming to follow. And that's exactly how the OSU Scarlet team is going to take this 8-6 lead. That's exactly how they're going to take control on this map. And they still have really good guns here. They still have the opportunity to fight back. They are investing into this round because they can. And hey, why not? If you're able to take another round right now, OSU Scarlet is going to start the steamroll. even if all their players go down, if they're able to get one more round here, Sussy players have no economy to really fight back with. And Sussy players are gonna hedge their bets
Blocking sight.
more towards the A site. And again, I think it's just the wrong read after wrong read. Cypher not able to pick the correct site, but maybe this is gonna be a fake. Spike actually rotating towards B again, but it looks like OSU Scarlet's gonna play this really slow, really disciplined. They're setting up this sort of mid-round default, a play for information. They're gonna sell a fake again on to this A site, but the spike, it's B. This is all just a ruse. This is all just a ploy. And there's only one player there waiting on the B site. And the spike's already down. And you also have to deal with the fact that you have OSU Scarlet, Dapper Waldy just in the backline. They've played him in perfectly. And they have a watch from mid, 2 Knights there. Can he get the correct timing to catch the punish? Wait, best barrel? Maybe, okay, maybe he doesn't need the punish, okay. Maybe it's just his pure aura that pushes him off. But either way, OSU Scarlet with some great positioning, some great mid-rounding. They realize the situation they're in, but the stick's coming in. Is Kobe gonna get it? Yes, he is! Oh my gosh! Kobe saves the game! He just saved the round! And even though all 5 players for the Sussy players go down, they got the round. They got the money you get from winning the round at least. They're still gonna not have the full buy because obviously all 5 players went down that round, and there's still gonna be advantage. But at least you can say you won it, you know? At least you can say you took it. Another very tough round for them to win is coming up here. I want to see them start to get creative here. They're going to stack towards the B side, and it looks like as of right now, that is the correct read. But it's going to be a push through mid for OSU Scarlet. They want to really sell that they are at least taking mid or go for the full take of it. And I think they're going to realize that there is not much to sort of fight back with on mid. Sussy players didn't want to hold mid because they were worried about these long angles, and it allowed OSU Scarlet to just take control at the exact perfect time. And now you have this crunch, this 3-player push up towards the mid side. Overdrone used to gain util, and an amazing response. 2 at the same time, both on sort of opposite sides of mid, but both equally as impactful for the Sussy players. And they're going to be able to at least retrieve 1 gun from that exchange as well. But definitely still not a 1 situation. Even though there is a numbers advantage, there's still definitely a heavy guns advantage in favor. That Phantom just hits so much harder close range than the Sheriff. And Hamburger trying to open up the map towards A, trying to make some noise here. But Sussy players, they've read this tale before. They know exactly how OSU like to sell these fakes, keep players lurking, and get the plant down secretly, and that's exactly what happened. They're going to be late towards this defense, and they actually have a really nice plant spot set up. It's in a precarious situation. Grab roll to counter, and Griffey sets himself up flawlessly. Hamburger playing with fire a bit, and he is going to get burned. But Griffey, the man lying in wait, sets himself up perfectly and gets out without a problem, gets out unscathed. They want to keep these guns, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Grifty with the 4K, holding down the fort for OSU Scarlet and pushing an even greater lead onto their hands. But definitely not one that isn't beatable. You can see the benefit of saving up here. You have Donkey with the glass cannon operator, 0 shield, 100% damage, and if you can manage to find value with that, it's 100% going to turn the tide. The issue is OSU Scarlet has been so flexible with how they've been playing their map. They've pushed up mid, they've pushed up B, they've pushed up A, they've drawn these fakes, and we're only less than halfway into this round, and Vespiro, cheeky play there, goes for the punish. Is actually going to be able to get 1 in that very precarious situation.
Cage trigger.
But OSU Scarlet, this time, they aren't faking. They've conditioned it like they would. But you can definitely tell with that tap, the spike is down onto the A site in a 2v2 situation. These are the exact players you want for this clutch here. It's Grifty, somebody who is so good in these defensive holds. Not much util to go for though. And it's an op on the other side of things. Grifty realizing this. Realizing he can just hold this angle. It's so hard to swing back, but now it's going to be a pinch. Noodle wins his one. Grifty wins his one. And it's a showdown. One we've seen before. Can Noodle come up with it? And no! The aim's not there! Noodle!
Give me a
Noodle,
close.
no! And Grifty manages to clutch that one up by the skin of his teeth. Extending the lead for OSU Scarlet. Taking away the operator out of their hands. And Vespero, man, he's got to judge again. And he's putting in work with these judges every round, but with nothing but sheriffs to follow that up. You know that OSU Scarlet are going to play this slow. You know they're going to play this disciplined. We might also be seeing this quicker approach towards mid for both teams here. And Donkey's actually going to draw first blood. And that's impactful because that's a gun right there. The Seekers are actually invested to try and grab that weapon. But the side of OSU Scarlet, they're holding both sides of mid from bend and attacker spawn. Denying the retrieval, at least I believe, putting the Sussy players at, I guess, numbers advantage, but still a major gun deficit for them. But they still have a lot that they can work with here. And they're still holding down both sides well. Opting for the 3 players onto B. We'll see if the OSU Scarlet can do it again. They show a bit of presence to try and draw out, and then they walk straight back. They had 2 people make footsteps on the A site. Now they're walking to B. But look, Sussy players, they know. They know these games. They've played these games before, people. They still have 3 people on B. They have read this to perfection. And now they have sheriffs holding down this angle. They can definitely pack a punch, especially from Donkey here, who wants to try and control this space. It looks like a numbers advantage for OSU Scarlet coming onto the site. And at some points in time, that's all you need. And with the guns, it all goes in favor of OSU Scarlet. They're actually going to use this round to build up multiple ultimates. Astro ult on the cards. And they hold on to these for a while. These will hold on for these for the worst of times. And what can Sussy players do at this point in time? I mean, they're going to give this round a go. They have no reason not to. They're not going to feed ultimates, and feeding kills doesn't matter. They just want to potentially deny a gun. Vespero's able to get one. A stick onto the defuse, but it's spammed out. It's shut down. That defuse on the edge, just a bit too cheeky for the Sussy players to break through.
I got enough time to go into the astral phone.
This goes here. Oh, this is a nice spot. Yes, this should do.
And OSU Scarlet definitely catching
There.
pace. This round for
This
Sussy
goes
players,
here.
it's their last round where they can really buy up. Vespero been opting for that judge and definitely putting in work with it. 15 kills with a gun like that. Very impactful, but he's flushed out. It's over. Oh, it should be over at least. And that again, he should have been done and dusted in that situation, but he gets this one, making it a survivable situation for the Sussy players. Hunter's Fury comes in, trying to catch somebody, is Kobe, but no damage done. But a double swing does come through, and the advantage in favor of the Sussy players now. It's Knight set up onto the site, Hamburger as well, but it's a suffocation, and the Sussy players, they get another round in their favor. Exactly what they need if they want to start mounting this comeback. A comeback that I didn't even think they had to make. This is the best team from Act 2, and they looked dominant at some points in time. We talk about it, 12-0 on I believe it was Haven that they picked against this very same OSU Scarlet team. But OSU Scarlet, they're showing up when it matters most.
Yes, this should do.
And they are putting in a lot of thought to these maps, a lot of strategy on these maps. And it's paying off still. They're definitely not in a bad situation going into this round either. Even though Sussy players now have, that feels like the first round in like 15 where they have bought back-to-back because they have the luxury to do that. And they're keeping this split, but they're actually going to play up their Cypher towards A. They have the util there, and they're looking for the catch. We'll see if that's read into a push also coming up mid here. And it's just going to be respected, held on either side for the Sussy players. And Knight versus Vaspiro, this means so much. And Knight's so wise to it. Knows exactly what Vaspiro tries to do on the A site. And OSU Scarlet, they should have realized that with the Cypher down, who is initially playing the map towards A, that should be the more free site in everybody's mind too, though. So now the Sussy players, they're gonna have a 3-man rotate, and because Dapper Waldy is played up into this position, he hears all of this. Sometimes you don't even need to get the kills. It's the informational value that you can provide to your team, and that's exactly what has happened. They don't even know the spike's going down. They're gonna realize that's happening right now, and now they realize, oh, there's a jet through our mid. They're probably holding flank. Where can they take? What can the Sussy players do to fight back through this? And the answer, honestly, might be nothing at this point in time. It's just spam. You can't fight back through spam. You can't fight back when you're playing this far up. Even if you win a fight, even if you win 2, it won't matter. And Knight's not even going to give them that opportunity. 12-8, I believe, is the scoreline. And if Sussy players want to do it, I mean, they're looking at 6 in a row right now. If they want to sort of bring this back. I mean, technically 4 to go into the overtime. And they don't have the guns to do it. They're going to buy everything they can. They're going to try to set themselves up in the best situation. Try and min-max this economy. But no matter how much you do, it's just going to be those 2 Guardians. Or that Guardian and those 2 Vandals. Is going to be all they get. And the Cypher are going to switch their setup towards the B site.
Cutting through.
It's a 4-1. With the Cypher being that one with the side of OSU Scarlet. It's going to be a 5-man push. And they're not playing games. They're not selling fakes anymore. They're taking straight towards the site. They've taken the space up towards heaven as well. And they have 2 players there just holding, waiting for the demise of the Sussy players. And it's so hard to push back into this here. 5v4. Sussy players down in numbers. Dez is going to get flushed though. And numbers advantage is there. Noodle cleans up 1 as well. Sussy players fighting back through this. It's all on the back of Dapper Waldy, who's holding down this site. But Knight's there at the flank too. Dapper just has to buy time. He needs to play this one out. The Astro Wall actually going to go in his favor. Is he going to swing out at the right time? No, he's not. 1v1 situation to close it out. Knight, Shamson, who's got it? The HP is just not there. Nothing's there. And OSU Scarlet, for the first time, taking down Sussy players. And they're going to clean this one up, send them packing. And definitely show us, definitely prove to all of viewers at home, this is an Act 2. This isn't the last time around. This is Act 3. And this is where it matters for them to show up. We do get to see this post-match scoreline. And honestly, like, all players were, like, firing sort of all on our cylinders. Like, you look at Dapper Waldy on the bottom, but you look at the information he was providing, too. He would push up mid consistently and get that information for OSU Scarlet to play off of. So, I don't think that this is by no means like a 3-4 person effort. Everybody on OSU Scarlet is calming. Everybody on OSU Scarlet is playing at the top of their level. And now, in my humble opinion, and I'm the only caster here, so I feel like I can say this, they are the team to beat right now. Sussy players went into this tournament as the team to beat, but now I think OSU Scarlet is the one that everybody's eyes are going to be on. Everybody's going to be watching them and thinking, they just took down the number one team. What are they going to do next? And yeah, I'm really excited. I'll see if I can update everybody on any of the other games that have happened. I don't believe those results are in. Obviously, we have a lot of, you know, very, very dominant teams here. So you can see some very close matchups here. And I also will say we're looking for an interview. So hopefully going to be able to talk to one of these OSU Scarlet players. I mean, honestly, I'd love to talk to any one of them. Each of them having their own pop-off moments. Each of them having their own stand-out times. Yeah, so very excited for that. But while we wait, I will say that we do have one map update. CSU Vikings Green did take down Marion Tech Leaders 13-1, and I believe we are going to be ready for a interview right now. So we are going to be bringing in Knight. And
What's
Knight, how's it
up?
going, man?
Hey, it's going pretty good. How about you?
Hey, I'm doing all right, and I honestly like to say more than all right because I just got to watch some excellent gameplay from your team, OSU Scarlet, taking down the Sussy players, a team that I believe beat you a lot last time.
Yeah,
In
I
Act
wasn't on the
2.
team then, so I think that's the difference. But
Oh yeah, so you are 100% the difference. So talk to me, difference maker here. What did you provide to OSU Scarlet that is sort of the difference in this match, in the map of Abyss at least?
yeah, I honestly I have to thank my team mostly. They're really great. I'm a freshman this year, and they've been nothing but welcoming to me. And I think for me personally, we've gotten a lot better at like working together and playing together. And so it's not necessarily something that I do personally, but I think that we work really well as a team. And I think we showed that in this game.
Excellent. Now, talk to me about those, I think, fakes that you were selling. You were doing a lot of that on the attack side. I know you personally would set up those Astra walls towards A and then you'd end B or vice versa, right? Should we be expecting a lot more of that? Or
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, no worries.
Yeah, so we've been trying to work in a lot more like mid-rounding and kind of working the map into our gameplay. And I think that it works well for us on Abyss since it's such a big map that we can really kind of shift the defense around and give them a couple question marks on where we're going and what we're doing. And it just so happened to work out really well for us, this map because they were really biting on our fakes. And so I was able to make use of a lot of Astra utility to kind of like sell things somewhere and then have our team go back the other way. So yeah, and Griffin was making a lot of good calls.
Griffin is Grifty, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And speaking of, I think you and Grifty, you guys were characteristically the ones in those clutch situations near the end. What's sort of going through your mind when maybe you're up in numbers, you're down in numbers, you have a bit of util, but that spike is down, so you know you have a chance?
I think the most important part is like communication. Especially when we're in a clutch situation, I need as much information as I can get. And for me, when I'm there, I'm not thinking too hard. And most things are just second nature, like what I'm smoking, where I'm looking, where people could be playing. I think my teams can be most helpful in those situations because they can make comms for me or pay attention to the map. And then I can just focus on, shooting people.
And you did an absolutely fine job, if I could say so myself, at the shooting people aspect and also the comms aspect as well. Now, I'll hit you with one more question here. Obviously, you're playing on LAN. I'm going to make this a two-parter. One, what's that experience like for you as a freshman who's kind of new to the team, maybe new to some LAN experiences? And two, are there any teams that you've been sort of talking around with that you're sort of excited to play in these upcoming pool play matches?
Yeah, so LANs are super cool for me. This is only my second one ever because, OSU Scarlet was basically my first ever competitive Valorant team. And so I think it's super cool to be able to play next to my team. And I think it really helps with the chemistry because we're able to see each other in person and talk. In terms of teams I'd like to face, I don't know many of the teams here that well, but I do know Akron. They're a team that we've played, many times, and they're really good. And so I hope to get a rematch against them because I think they beat us the first couple of times we played, but I think we're a different team now. So.
Yeah, and I can definitely tell you, you guys are a different team from Act 2, especially with the addition of star players like you, and with that, in my opinion, amazing attack, and really great counterplay on that defensive side, too, on Abyss. Knight, I want to say thank you. Before I send you out, do you have any shoutouts you want to make? Do you want to give any promo, stuff like that?
Yeah, sure. I'd like to thank my parents. I kind of forgot to tell them that it's streaming yet, so I'll probably tell them after this interview because that reminded me. I'd like to thank my sister, obviously my teammates for being such great people, and then my friends who help and support me along the way. So yeah.
All right.
Oh, and my
Well,
coaches. Can't forget.
great call. Always got to remember the coaches.
Right.
Sometimes they slip the mind, but they're sometimes the most important people
they're super
there.
important for sure.
Yep. All right. Well, Knight, thank you so much for hopping on the interview, and I look forward to seeing more of you and your team, OSU Scarlet, dominating in
Thank you so much.
GA Val Act 3. All right. Well, it was great to hear from Knight, and honestly, I'm really, really excited. I said this before, and I'll say it again. This is just pure enthusiasm on my point. I'm really excited to see this OSU Scarlet team play. They have been working at a astounding level. They've been putting in a ton of work, and you can definitely tell it's paying off here. And Knight talked about it a bit. That OSU Scarlet versus Akron Gold match, we are gonna, I believe, have that one not on screen today, but we're gonna definitely see it at some point in time, at least be able to catch the results of it. So I'm really excited to just see how it plays out between those two teams, two very, very talented teams in their own regard. See which one is the better one, because obviously Akron and OSU, you got to think they're at least somewhat rivals, Both teams around the Columbus area, both teams that can play Valorant at a very, very high level and have S-tier esports organizations, I would say, from what I've heard. So, yeah, really excited to see how things go out. And I believe that we are now, between matches, I will update one more thing. The Akron Gold team did take down CSU Vikings White 13-10. So very close match there again, but Akron Gold managed to take it home. And now, with I guess everything out of the way, we're going to head to a very quick break. So we'll see you in, I guess, a few minutes for the upcoming games on GA Valorant Act 3.